History remembers Lord Byron as mad, bad, and dangerous to know. But before the scandal, there was the defiance. In 1805, Cambridge statutes strictly forbade dogs. Byron, the pale student of sensation, found the loophole. There was no rule against bears. He kept a live one in his dormitory, claiming it should sit for a fellowship. He wasn't just breaking rules, he was proving his own verse. I am so changeable, and in the course of 5 minutes can be as many different people. He chose to be the one who made the system look ridiculous. In 1808, at Newstead Abbey, Byron's spade struck a buried monk. Most would have recoiled. Byron had the skull turned into a silver-rimmed chalice. He formed the Order of the Skull, a secret society drinking blood-red wine from the cranium of the dead. He was performing an autopsy on his own mortality, living out the truth of his words. The tree of knowledge is not that of life. He wanted to taste the abyss before it tasted him. The obsession reached its peak on a desolate Italian beach. Byron stood watching the funeral pyre of his friend Percy Shelley. As the body turned to ash, the heart refused to burn. Legend says Byron reached into the grey dust, driven to feel what we exist. He was a man who became a ghost while still breathing, haunted by the realization that sorrow is knowledge. Then who know the most must mourn the deepest over the fatal truth. He didn't just witness the end, he consumed it. Even in death, he was an anomaly. His body was sent home in a barrel of rum while his heart remained in Greece, a fragment of a man who belonged to no one. The church refused his burial, trying to edit the man out and keep only the verses. But like the truth of the Brontes, Byron's spirit cannot be sanitized. As he once wrote, even as a broken mirror, which the glass in every fragment multiplies. On his birthday, the fragments remain.